So this year is flying by. So we're on our second to last unit of the year. So next we're going to look at the lymphatic and immune system. So we're going to start with the lymphatic system first. This is going to relate a lot to what we're going through right now. So we're going to look at how our body fights off diseases and disorders, and I'll try to relate it to what's going on right now as much as possible. So first we'll go over the parts of the lymphatic system. So the first two parts are going to be lymph and lymph vessels. So you've probably heard of lymph nodes before. So inside of those is going to be lymph, which is where you will find the most important thing of the lymphatic system is the white blood cells. So this is going to be what fights off the infection. There's a bunch of other things in lymph, water, salts, sugars, waste, etc. that's bringing nutrients. So how this is going to bring those nutrients is the lymph vessels, which are next to capillaries, and they're going to exchange the lymph fluid to fight off infections. So what do the lymph nodes look like, the third part? So if you look in the picture, it says lymph capillaries in the tissue spaces. So they're actually going to connect with the blood capillary, like I said, and they're going to produce what's called lymphocytes, or white blood cells that they can actually put into the bloodstream. So these lymphocytes are going to produce antibodies, a type of protein that fight off disease. These are going to filter harmful substances as well. And there's macrophages, another type of white blood cell we'll talk about in a little bit, and these actually devour foreign substances. Ivy is crazy today. So the next slide is for honors only. So this is looking at the structure of the lymphatic vessels and system. So you can see these groups that look like capillaries. Those are going to be the lymph nodes. Depending on where the infection is in the body, depends on where it's going to release the lymphocytes from. So for example, if you have an infection closer to your throat, then the lymph nodes in your neck are going to be the ones that are releasing the lymphocytes into your bloodstream. So you can see it connects directly with the bloodstream so that you can put it throughout the body. So the lymph node locations, so I'll show a picture at the end of this, but these are the major locations: tonsils, adenoids, neck, armpit, groin, mediastinum. But like I said, I'll show you a picture so that you can see this better. So the organs that are involved, so the first one is the spleen. So as I said before, the lymphatic system is related to filtering foreign things. So the spleen is going to be a major part that is going to get rid of foreign material and help to destroy old red blood cells. So this is extremely important because if you remember back to the integumentary system when we talked about cancer, old cells are more likely to have mutations. So it's very important for your body to get rid of old cells before they have the chance to mutate. So the spleen is a really important part. The next part is the thymus gland. So this contains T cells. T cells are extremely important for immunity. So this is one of the things that they've been talking about in the media lately is they're not sure if COVID-19, if you become immune to it. But if you have these T cells which are going to recognize COVID-19 once you have been exposed to it. So the second time you get exposed to it, those T cells are like, oh my gosh, COVID-19's back, and it makes you fight it off much faster. So that's a little example of how T cells work. I'll talk more about them in a little bit. So before we get into the immune system, I'm going to, like I said, show you a picture of the lymphatic system and label it. All right, so I tried drawing a person a few times, so I'm just going to stick with a stick figure. So this is going to be lymphatic Larry. So lymphatic Larry is going to tell us all the parts of the lymphatic system. So the first one is going to be the thymus gland. So this you're going to find in your upper chest. So you'll find it right above the heart. So it's in between the lungs, up above the heart, and it goes almost into your throat area. The second part is going to be the spleen. So the spleen you're going to find on your left side of your body. It's going to be left of the stomach. So it's going to be right next to the stomach. So that's an awful drawing of the stomach, but you get the gist. So next I'm going to add all of the lymph nodes. So as I said before, there's specific locations for the lymph nodes. So the first is going to be in the neck, in the armpits, the groin, and then you'll find a little bit smaller ones in the knees, the elbows, and then you find another major one in the mediastinum area, which is the center of your body. These are all going to be connected by lymph vessels, so I'm just drawing them quick, adding them together. So this is everything you need to know for the parts of the lymphatic system. If you have any questions, just let me know.